Opinions on NASCAR are a dime a dozen, and Twitter is a place where those opinions run free, like an ocean filled with litter. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the official NASCAR Twitter's Active Driver 2025 Hero/Villain Meter. I asked NASCAR Twitter for their favorite and most hated driver. Combining the votes gives this hero/villain meter. It's a very interesting way of interpreting it. I prefer my PowerPoint. I'm going to be wearing the glasses today, by the way, because the screen has decided that it's going to be as bright as humanly possible. Forget the posts that we're looking at. My eyes hurt just from staring at the screen. Okay, so here is the classic PowerPoint of my driver opinions. I made this on the 28th of September, 2014. The 10th anniversary of this PowerPoint, it really must be said. As you can see, just at the highest part of the list is the favorite driver, and the lowest part of the list is the most hated driver, which I suppose is the exact same way that this works. So I guess I'll just shut up. Let's take a look at the form itself in order to decide how these opinions have been sourced. What do we have here? What season did you begin watching NASCAR? This is a loaded question. I was watching it every week starting in 2005, but before then, I genuinely have no idea. Maybe from the moment I was born, just the second I popped out, there was a race on the TV, very well could have been the case. But I don't actually know. For the sake of this video, let's just say 2005. How old am I? Too old. I'm closer to 28 than 27, which is a sad state of affairs. What state do you currently live in? Well, this will give it away. Who is my favorite active NASCAR driver? Now, this is tough. I really like Chase Briscoe, but I also really like Erik Jones. Truex retiring. Truex was the answer for the last 10 years, but the problem is do I want to like Chase Briscoe and have a sniffing chance at seeing my favorite driver win races, or do I go with who my actual driver, who I hold the highest opinion of, Erik Jones, who will never win again as long as he's in the 43? That's very tough. Of course, consulting the PowerPoint. In a stroke of genius, I actually have my end of season driver opinions dating all the way back to 2015. In a stroke of genius, I archived my end of season driver opinions tier list. I don't know, this is interesting. Let's go back to the end of 2015. Kyle Busch is my third most hated driver. But if we go to the end of last year, we'll see that Kyle Busch is now in the neutral section. And I disliked Chris Buescher more. That's interesting. So let's consult this. So at the end of 2024, I had Briscoe over Erik. End of 2023, I had Briscoe over Erik. Oh, this is the top three did not change for a long time. Oh shit. End of 2021, Briscoe beneath Erik Jones with Blaney in second. That is how 2021 looked. 2020, there was no. It looks like the answer is Briscoe. Alright, Chase Briscoe. Who is your favorite NASCAR driver of all time? Of all time! That is not a difficult question. The answer is Mark Martin, of course. It's how it goes, you know, man. Now, Truex is the driver that I saw the most success. The only race that I did not watch him win live was 2007 Dover. Every other race that Truex won is a race that I watched live, as opposed to Mark, who I only saw like 3 out of his 5 wins in 2009. That's all I got. But it has to be Mark, unfortunately. Now, who is my least favorite? Now, this is actually tough. It comes down to 2. It should come down to 3. Elliott should be on the list, but he will not be on the list for the sake of this. Because Reddick makes me want to actually shoot myself, and I despise the very air that Noah Gregson breathes. Consulting the official source of my opinions, that of course being the driver PowerPoint, we have Gregson lower than the 45 in 2024, Gregson lower in 2023, and, well, actually, 2022. Did I hate Ty Dillon more than Reddick in 2022? That's interesting. In any case, I feel like the PowerPoint has shown us what the answer is. And it is, in fact, what is my favorite new race for 2025? Bowman Gray, Mexico City. Is that legitimately everything? Where's Rockingham? My actual answer is Rockingham. I'm gonna go with Mexico City. What is my preferred NASCAR point system? I actually invented a point system back in like 2017. It's closest to this. Which car do I prefer? Next Gen or Gen 6? Now this is a loaded fucking question. Gen 6 had some good moments, alright? 2014 is an example of a good season with the Gen 6. It's always the go-to, of course. It is always the go-to. And I feel like 2014 as a whole has been better than anything that's happened in the next gen. However, every other season of the Gen 6 was horrible. 2016 was great. Alright, if 2014 was fantastic, 2016 was great. 2017 wasn't as good. 2018 had its moments. Every other year the Gen 6 was horrendous. Now, compare that to the next gen, which conceptually should be great, but it's not. It is all pure manufactured garbage, unfortunately for us in this wonderful world of 2025. And now let's consider this. Consider this. Next gen has a lot of different things like digital dash. Gen 6 didn't always have that. Next gen always has 5 lugs. Gen 6 had 5, next gen has 1. All of these things come together. Honestly, the answer is Gen 6. Which lost track in the 2020s do I want back? Oh, baby. Well, I already know I know the answer before I even, okay, that's tough. Between Chicagoland and Indy Road Course. I'm going to go with Chicagoland only because Indy Road Course has been soured, in my opinion. What is my favorite NASCAR track? That's hard to say. Bristol was my go-to answer for almost my entire life. Last year, it had one of the greatest cup races to ever happen, and one of the worst. Very bipolar track in the modern era, it really must be said. Now, as far as, what other tracks I could select, well, you see, the thing is that short tracks used to be my favorite thing in the world, but now the next gen has made them absolute dog shit. As a matter of fact, the only track that I feel like hasn't been hurt by the next gen is Richmond. Richmond, I feel like, is still, producing banger after banger. Last year wasn't amazing. Whatever, you know. My answer is Richmond. I'm sorry. It really must be said, I think my answer is Richmond. If I could add one track to the Cup Series schedule, Rockingham. Didn't even need to finish reading the goddamn question. What is my favorite NASCAR/motorsports podcast? Okay, now that's interesting. I don't really listen to podcasts anymore. I'm gonna go with Actions Detrimental. Just because Denny Hamlin is an absolute gem on that show. That's all I'm going with there. It's all good. If I had a podcast, I would put it down though. Just be clear. Who did I vote for in the 2024 election? This is a relevant question. I can't say shit. If I made this Google Doc, I would have put the same thing on there. Same exact question. North Wilkesboro should be an exhibition event, a points race, not host cup. It should be a full-length, 500 lap points race, no stages, trying to stay green long enough for lap traffic to actually make a factor. Like, doesn't the All-Star race have like 25 cars? Like, it takes an entire stage of the All-Star race for traffic to make an impact. Traffic is literally the only thing that can make an impact in these short tracks anymore. And even back in the day, traffic was half the reason that anything happened. And today, take a look at Martinsville in the Xfinity Series, for example. Whoever's in the lead just stays there until they hit traffic. Yeah, same thing in the Truck Series. Cup Series, the only problem is that no one can pass. So once they catch traffic, really nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Second place still can't do anything. But yeah, it needs to be, the race needs to be as long as possible with no cautions. No fucking scheduled cautions, alright? That is why I should do, that is why it should be a points race. Bowman Gray should be an exhibition event, a points race, not host cup. Now, Bowman Gray, on the other hand, problem with Bowman Gray is that there is no way to have traditional pit stops. If we were to implement a truck series halftime, like back in the 90s, trucks could absolutely go here. As for every other series with their long races and need for pit stops, I'm gonna say not host cup, but with the caveat that they should host trucks. Alright, well I guess that's the whole form, so I'm submitting that. I believe that this is an absolutely valid metric to judge the true opinions of all of NASCAR Twitter. In fact, not even Twitter, just the entire NASCAR fan base as a whole. Let's find out who the favorite driver of NASCAR Twitter is. Coming in first is Ryan Blaney. Ooh, ambitious today, are we? Yes, indeed. Ryan Blaney being at the top of the list, it's not that surprising. It's very difficult to hate Ryan Blaney unless he fucking gives up the win in the final corner at Homestead. That annoyed me significantly. But Ryan Blaney being at the top of the list is not what surprised me at first. Coming in second, Bubba Wallace. What? Second most liked driver in NASCAR, Bubba Wallace. You can tell this was done on Twitter and not Facebook. This is still a surprising place for Bubba Wallace to turn up. I see plenty of Bubba hate on this website. Follows me, interesting. Dab for Dale, probably has a lot of Bubba haters blocked. That's just an assumption that I'm making. Now, I know you can view tweets from blocked people these days. This is probably very like-minded individuals that have come together to make this. I'm not doubting Dab for Dale's analysis. The professor. Professor Dale. I am not doubting this man's methods. I'm just saying, this is probably going to be a biased post. Coming in third is Ross Chastain. I am not a Chastain appreciator. I know a lot of people that are not Chastain appreciators. But ever since making my Judging You video, I've discovered there are a ton in my audience. It's just surprising, and it's like, I'm glad that you can find enjoyment in places that I don't. I am glad for you. I really am. I just don't understand. Coming in fourth, Chase Elliott. I feel like when it comes to Chase Elliott, he's a lot of people's number one favorite driver, but he's not a lot of people's number one most hated driver. So I'd say that probably skews this ranking, if you ask me. Coming in fifth is Tyler Reddick. Well, I guess my opinion doesn't hold any weight in this one. You can only list one driver that you like and one driver that you don't like. This does not give a very broad spectrum of opinions. I guess whoever is the most liked ends up on the top, and whoever is the most not liked ends up on the bottom. I suppose that metric is accurate, but it really doesn't give us a whole lot of nuance, is what I'm trying to say. Coming in sixth is Alex Bowman. Find me an Alex Bowman hater, and I will find you an insane person on the internet. Coming in seventh is Brad Keselowski. So far, this is pretty reasonable. Coming in eighth, Christopher Bell. I find it surprising that this many people listed Christopher Bell as their favorite driver over everyone else that we're going to be reading. Bell got more favorite driver points than all of these people. Coming in 9th, Shane Van Gisbergen. Already the 9th most favorited driver on NASCAR Twitter is Shane Van Gisbergen, who's been here for what, 2 years? I guess he really hasn't done anything to annoy anyone except for me. Of course, I'm the first to be annoyed by anything. I'm always ahead of the curve when it comes to being annoyed, let me tell you. Coming in 10th, Kyle Busch. Now, this is the point where I would really like to have seen something like this back in 2016, 2017, that era. Coming in 11th, Chris Buescher. More people like Kyle Busch than Chris Buescher. This is an official metric from this chart. It really must be said. The only thing that I'm surprised by here is how many people have Chris Buescher as their favorite driver. This is crazy. William Byron, Daniel Suarez, Chase Briscoe. This is such a weird metric. And take a look at all the Trackhouse drivers up high on the list. Coming in 15th, Michael Waltrip. Wait, what? NASCAR Twitter's active driver, hero villain meter, Michael Waltrip. What? I know I'm not the world's most intelligent guy, but I feel like there is a flaw in this placement. And now consider this. More people, when asked who their favorite active NASCAR driver is, Michael Waltrip over Eric Jones, Todd Gilliland, Ryan Preece, Josh Berry, AJ Allmendinger. Michael Waltrip has not ran any race since 2017. 23rd, BJ McLeod, not written correctly. Landon Castle. Huh? Over Truex and Tommy Joe Martins. Brad Perez got some votes. Connor Zilic, already someone's favorite driver. That's an interesting one. Now, as you can see, obviously the green means good. Now we're getting into the reds. Reds means bad. We've got some unfortunate names here. Christian Eckes is the first driver on the list to be disliked. Taylor Gray must have made an entry into this Google form. That is my assumption. Johnny Sauter, more disliked than Christian Eckes in 2025. Bro has not run a full season since like 2019, and he is still catching strays. Andre Castro. I'm surprised anyone even knows who that is. And yet it looks like he got more most disliked driver votes than Christian Eckes and Johnny Sauter. Andre Castro, despised. Coming in after Andre Castro, Brian France. Notable NASCAR legend, Brian France. Active driver, Brian France. What is happening in this list? Dawson Cram's on this list. Good. I should have voted for Cram. Jeremy Mayfield. I guess, hey, they cleared him to race. He could if he really wanted to. John Wes Townley. This is a justified listing. There is good reason to dislike John Wes Townley, but to vote him on your most hated active driver list, it feels a little bit on the in poor taste side, if I'm 100% honest. John Wes Townley really isn't active in anything these days, though, is he? Kevin Conway. Max Verstappen. Noted NASCAR driver Max Verstappen. Keep in mind, he got more than one vote because he is lower on the list than Johnny Sauter and Christian Eckes. I am so very confused by this list. Matt Kenseth and Rick Crawford are equally disliked by NASCAR Twitter. But don't worry, Eric Almirola is hated by more than them. Wow. Kevin Harvick in the disliked section. That's interesting. Kyle Larson. very much disliked. Everyone that was left on Twitter was racist, I thought. It appears that that's quite the opposite. They've got Bubba in second most liked, and Larson as one of the most despised. NASCAR Twitter not escaping the leftist echo chamber allegations. Stenhouse is despised. Good. Jeff Gordon. He has not raced in nearly 10 years. Let it go. I also despise Jeff Gordon, but you saw who I voted for. Ty Gibbs and Gregson equally disliked. Why? How is that possible? Cody Ware hated by more people. But get this. Get this. You've got Ty Gibbs, who I disagree, but there are valid reasons to dislike Ty Gibbs. He is the absolute epitome of nepotistic, rich kid, daddy's money driver. He is the pinnacle. You've got Gregson, who allegedly, and you've got Cody Ware, who has been arrested for domestic violence. You've got these three absolute fucking lunatics, more hated than them: Austin Hill, Corey LaJoy, Denny Hamlin. But don't worry, there are more hated drivers. Austin Dillon, second most hated driver in NASCAR today. Wow. Even lower than that is Logano. I mean, in another life, I would have made the same decision there, but I mean, these are some hard times that we're facing. We've got some bad drivers in the Cup Series these days. So bad that Logano is only my fourth. I despise 3 drivers more than I despise Logano. These are truly interesting times in which we live in. And there you have it. The complete NASCAR Twitter's hero-villain meter in the 2025th year of our Lord, dude. That is absolutely incredible. I don't know what to say, man. There's some interesting choices. Interesting choices on this list. I don't really know what the point of this video was. If you enjoyed, leave a comment, I guess. Thank you to the mega appreciators, them being TJ Arnold, Adam Pehl, VaporLyfe, JadyLan, Alex Johanning, Chris T, Mutant Turkey, The Angry Irishman, Somebody32, Simon Maynard, and Carolina Cowboy. The list gets longer and longer every time I log into this website, man. It really must be said. Thank you all so much for the support over the years. Thank you all so much for the support currently. Thank you all so much for watching this video. And yeah, if you want to get in on the action, I suppose I will leave the tweet in question in the description if you want to get your opinion on NASCAR drivers. I guess that really would destroy the metrics, wouldn't it? This would not be NASCAR Twitter. It would not be NASCAR Twitter. It would be my audience flooding this listing. But you see, the thing is, I feel like this is fair. I've got a very diverse audience as far as driver opinions are considered. So I'd say it's legitimate. I guess that's a video. I guess I just spent 40 minutes of my life recording this. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you weren't distracted too much by the fucking shit reflecting off my goddamn glasses. But it's so fucking bright, I can't see anything, dude. I can't see fucking shit from this fucking... It's just so bright. It's just so bright. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye. And this man does not care about terrain, for he is a dune buggy. Oh, never mind! The police officer annihilated him! Did you see that? The balloons are in the way! The balloons are with the enemy! Look at this! Look at this! Run failed! What? It's miserable to play sometimes, but I love the game. Oh, the
camel's standing! Oh, the camel was sitting last time we were over. Now the camel's standing. Dynamic camels. The selling point for this game. Dynamic camels. That is amazing.